It's all about
You were right. I should have gone back to my family. They told me not to be like De La Cruz.
Extremely important. Would you please tell him that instead of presents this year, I just want my family back?
Wherever we go, this family is our fortress.
Right now. Salute, mi familia.
Salute. Hello, everyone. Salute. Welcome to my channel. We, of course, are going to have an awesome, super fun stream for you all tonight. We are talking our favorite families in films. So not necessarily just family genre movies, but any kind of genre that has an amazing family in it, or at least an interesting family. We're definitely going to talk about it here. So we're going to go through those 5 rounds and then have some honorable mentions, of course, at the end. But before we get to that, just a couple reminders. If you love family like we all do, of course, think that like and subscribe. Support the channel by gifting super chats. And if you have ideas for streams, become part of this family with memberships to receive exclusive perks like choosing future live stream topics. But let's go ahead and bring in this amazing panel tonight, one by one, to kind of introduce themselves. And of course, we'll start with a little icebreaker question of how do we go about choosing for this topic, because I know everybody has kind of a different perspective on family. So let's go ahead and bring in our first member of this family right here, this family of panel members. Ryan, how are we doing out there?
I'm a little tired, doing good though. Yeah, so how did I go about this topic? Well, I procrastinated until the last minute and I had to come up with a list, of course, like yesterday. But I picked movies that mostly dealt with family. But stuff that like I wanted to root for the family, or that just something about the family made me really just fall in love with them and wanted me to really invest my time in watching the movie and cheer for them. So those were kind of like how my choices went.
So more the heroic families then, no villain families for you.
Maybe.
Ooh, maybe there's a little twist in there. I can't wait.
Maybe there's some anti-heroes in here. Maybe.
Ooh, I'll take that for sure. Well, let's go ahead and bring in someone who is definitely a hero out there. Dude who loves movies. How are we doing out there?
What's up, guys? Happy to be here.
So, dude, how'd you go about making your choices for this topic? Because you had some good choices in there.
Yeah, so I wanted to be different, but then I ended up picking like some ones that are like obvious because I couldn't do it with, picking families without doing it. And I didn't know that we could pick TV families, or else my list would probably be totally different. So mine are all families from movies.
Yeah, I started with families and movies, and then some people started sending me TV ones, and I'm like, okay, I guess we're doing TV as well. That's how that happened. That's how that changed within a minute. But yeah, you have some good staples in there, but you also had a few in there that I'm like, okay, yeah, I wasn't initially thinking about them, so I'm glad you chose them.
I appreciate that.
And then let's go ahead and bring in, of course, we got to have Caveman out there. We know Caveman is all about family, right?
Yep.
So how'd you go about making your choices for this topic?
Well, I asked Miss Caveman, and it helped a little bit. But I kind of had an idea what I wanted, and spoiler, I'm the one that threw in the TV shows, but I made them honorable mentions, but
See, so that totally works.
Yeah. But I kind of, there's one in there I think is pretty obvious, but most of them are going to take a little digging into the minutia to be able to tie in with the family.
Yeah, I think you had a movie in there that I didn't even heard of before, so I can't wait for you to talk about that one just so I can learn a little bit about the movie. Yeah. But that's awesome. You asked Miss Caveman. I mean, you brought in family to help you with the family topic. That is the perfect way to do that. So, yeah, that's great. And we might have a couple more panel members join us here later. And we'll, of course, introduce them as they come in. But let's jump into the comments first before we start shouting out these families. And, of course, we're going to have some pictures to go along with the shout-outs. But let's just check into the comments, see who's joining us. We got Tiana Loves Movies. Hey, everyone. Wanted to be sure to swing in and say hello. Well, hello, Tiana. Thank you for being here. And dude, we got my mom in the chat saying hi to everyone. And also saying my favorite family movies are Frozen, Enchanted, and Peanut Butter Falcon. Well, those are great family movies.
Yes.
But I know our topic goes a little bit more broad than that because we can definitely include any genre here with families. We got Huck's Pop Culture Cafe. It's all about family, right? Oh,
Huck's
I got to pull out a video for this one then.
It's all about
There we go. See, I just had to. I mean, Huck brought it up. It had to be done. I know he's a big Shazam fan just like me, so. But yeah, that's probably going to get mentioned tonight. You know, a little foreshadowing there. But let's see. Of course, the dude is everywhere. What's up, everyone? Don't forget to roundhouse kick that like button. Absolutely. Thank you, dude. Let's see. We got Miss Caveman here. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Miss Caveman. Let's see. Ryan in here saying hello to everyone. Hope everybody's having a great night and enjoying the stream. We got Fish the Film Collector. Good evening, Mike, and all you distant cousins. See, we're all family in this community right here. That's what it's all about this time of year. But yeah, thank you, Fish, for being here. And I know, Fish, you were helping promote too. So I'm like, oh, Fish,
Yes.
You are so awesome. I got to thank you when you jump on here. Let's see. Huck is saying, well played, Mike. Well played. All right, so let's get into our first round. Got to get into our first round. And as we go through these shout outs, of course, panel members can jump in, talk about what they like about the movie, any of the family characters themselves, and even, hey, what is your favorite family member out of the family? Because I know everybody chooses favorites out there, right?
Yes.
So first film family shout out. Ryan, you're going to start this one off. Which one are you going with first?
We're going to go with my favorite Wes Anderson movie. This has Eli and Richie and Chaz and Margot and Ethline and Royal, and that is the Royal Tenenbaums. I know somebody else picked this on the panel, but this is my favorite Wes Anderson movie. It's just a dark comedy. I guess my light is like way too bright. Here we go. Hey, look at that. Sideways.
Oh, there we go. Let's zoom in on that then. Can we see
Yeah,
that?
it's-
Let's show up a little bit.
My
Oh,
light's
there
too bright. But it's a very dark comedy, a very weird dynamic with the family. It deals with a lot of different stuff, drug abuse, suicide, and things like that. And through all, the main man stays steady and takes his family into the future. But love the Royal Tenenbaums. Again, favorite Wes Anderson movie of all time. My favorite probably has to be Richie, which is Luke Wilson's character in here. He's just a little messed up in the head, and I kind of enjoy it.
I mean, look at this family. This is such a great cast of characters here. Ben Stiller, he's so hilarious in this one. I think he's the one I lean towards. But, I mean, so many good choices. How about everybody else on the panel? Dude, have you seen Royal Tenenbaums?
I have not. It's a Christmas movie, right? Isn't that what?
No, it's not Christmas.
For some reason, I thought Royal.
Christmas.
Does Royal Tenenbaums mean Christmas tree? I don't know why I thought that.
Does it? I don't know.
I thought that's what it was.
Tenenbaum's the last name, and then Royal is the father. That's his first name.
I see. That
Yeah.
I
It's
had
like
actually.
a play on his name.
I see. My Wes Anderson game is not very strong. So obviously I'm thinking this is a Christmas movie. But that movie came out like the early 2000s, right?
2001, I believe.
Yeah. I remember when it came out.
Yeah.
I wanted to see it. I never did.
Oh, it's so good. And it's for Wes Anderson, it's probably one of his most easy watching titles. Like, it doesn't get too weird or bizarre or out there. So yeah, that's like top 3 I would recommend for starting with Wes Anderson. But
Yes.
that family is hilarious. I mean, even if you watch the trailer makes you laugh with all these characters in there. So that's what sold me on the movie. How about a Guy? Have you seen Royal Tenenbaums yet?
I've tried to watch it a couple different times. The biggest thing I remember from it is kind of like a sleepaway camp. I mean, that's one of the scenes I remember is just them all getting in the pajamas, like the long johns and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
I will be honest. The first time I watched this movie, I went and seen it on, I believe, opening weekend or maybe the weekend after. At the time, I was working a weird shift, and I'd been up majority of the day, and I fell asleep during it. So then I had to wait until it came out on physical media before I watched it again. So it's a little long. It drags a little bit, but it's a good movie. Every rewatch, I always get something out of it.
Oh
I
yeah.
believe it
That's
was
what
Dragon
she
Movie
said.
Guy. Yeah, I think it was Dragon Movie Guy that had picked this. Correct? Royal Tenenbaums.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I haven't watched it in nearly 20 years. I watched it in the theater, but I love Wes Anderson, and of all Wes Anderson's films, I love all Wes Anderson films, but it's the least favorite out of the favorite Wes Anderson films, but it is still a favorite Wes Anderson film.
And so Brian, what would have been your favorite family member out of the Royal Tenenbaums?
Oh, by far Ben Stiller's character, only because Jason Sudeikis basically played a version of him on Saturday Night Live where he was just dancing and didn't have a single line on the "What Up With That" sketch with Kenan Thompson doing the it just sort of was the clearinghouse for all of their characters, and you could tell that Jason Sudeikis had this Adidas warm-up jacket outfit where all he did was dance. So because of that, Ben Stiller's character, yeah.
Yeah, I mean the warm-up outfits are hilarious. Like his kids wear it too. Like you could just tell it's that kind of family right there.
Well, and the Royal Tenenbaums came first, and then honestly too, if you watched Glee at all, Jane Lynch's character, the coach, the cheerleading coach, the villain of the show, also wore a red warm-up jacket, head to toe, with the three Adidas stripes going up and down her sleeve too. So I think that Ben Stiller's character has had a bigger influence outside of the film in the entertainment community, at least, than just his character from the Royal Tenenbaums itself. The look is great.
Yes,
but yeah,
I noticed that Mike's logo is showing up to be like a perfect bandana for Bill Murray to be wearing whenever he pulls that picture up.
Oh, let's look at that again. There you
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that. That is fantastic. Look at that.
Yeah.
That is perfect.
I love it.
What a coincidence, but it's awesome. All right. So yeah, great choice. Royal Tenenbaums. I knew it was gonna be chosen, so I'm like, you know what? I don't even have to choose this one. I know at least a few people are gonna go for this one. And yes, we had a couple people go for it, so that was great.
Well, yeah, that cast is amazing. I mean,
good.
Gene Hackman and everyone in there is Oscar caliber. I mean, I don't think everyone's won an Oscar, but close. I mean, Luke Wilson, I don't think has won an Oscar, but everyone else looks like they've been nominated at some point in their life. So that's pretty amazing.
Yeah,
Even the Hawk.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just amazing.
Luke Wilson was a Falconeer.
I know, right? But how Wes Anderson is able to get all these amazing actors in his movies, like all of his movies has amazing talent in it. It's like, what is it about his movies that these actors just seem to want to sign up for anything? I mean, they're game for any Wes Anderson title.
I think it's a combination of one, it's prestige cinema, where they can come in, they don't have to carry the film by themselves, where they get to be creative and actory and come up with weird affectations for their character. And B, it's just fun. I mean, like, I still haven't seen, I really wanted to see Asteroid City, and I just never got around to seeing it this summer. But the fact that you have Tom Hanks in that film with everyone else joining the Wes Anderson acting troupe, it's freaking amazing. So
yeah, and I really liked Asteroid City. I know it's kind of divisive. I heard some people really don't like it because they think it gets too weird, Wes Anderson. But I enjoyed it. But I was expecting that. I'm like, I feel like he's gonna go super weird on this one, so I was ready for it.
And now I guess that brings up the other question: Wes Anderson, Paul Thomas Anderson, or Paul Anderson? Which Anderson?
See, I get them mixed up. What's the one that does Punch Drunk Love?
Paul Thomas Anderson.
Okay.
It's close for me between Paul and Wes.
See, I'm Wes person. What has Paul Anderson done?
Oh, damn.
Is he the licorice pizza person?
No, that was Paul Thomas Anderson.
Oh, okay.
And Paul Thomas Anderson also did Boogie Nights.
Yeah.
Too many Andersons. You get the Matrix, even more Andersons.
It's all about the Andersons.
All right, dude.
Wasn't that Hawk? Wasn't it? He even in the Rutger Hauer, Matthew Broderick. Was it Michelle Pfeiffer? I can't remember the chick's name, but where the guy transformed every night, and the Hawk was the girl. At night, she transformed into the girl. It's like a back in ancient times.
Oh.
Lady Hawk.
Is that
Lady Hawk, yeah.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Yeah, I can't remember it.
See a reference you weren't even expecting.
Nice.
All right, dude. What are you feeling? What's
All
your
right.
favorite family shout out?
So I'm going to start out with a known family. This is the Addams Family from the 1990 movie and Family Values. Yep. This is my favorite family, and my favorite. I love. Out of all of them, Gomez is good. Uncle Fester is good, but I think Wednesday is my favorite. She was also one of my first crushes. So I've had a crush on her since I was. This came out when I was like 2, so since I was a very little kid. So, and now I'm 30. Christina Ricci. I still have a crush on her. So, I definitely love this movie, and it's so funny too. It's like. It's a good the first one. It's more like a it feels like a Christmas movie, and the second one feels like a Thanksgiving movie, even though they go to a summer camp. But it's just a fun time, and they come together as a family. They're definitely bizarre, but it's their family, and they live the life how they want to. So I gotta go with Addams Family from the movies.
That's a great choice right there. I mean, I'm glad somebody chose that one, of course. And all the Addams families have been great. I mean, even you go the classic one, still great. Even you go animated, and it's still great.
Oh.
I mean, my favorite is the cousin right there. The little, I don't know what his name is, but the little hairy cousin down there.
Cousin It.
Yeah, he's always been my favorite. I'm like, that's just fucking design. But they got a lion a part of the family too. I mean, they got everything. What a great group of characters right here.
Now, who's the best Wednesday?
Oh, it's Christina Ricci by far. To me,
over Jen Ortega.
Like, there's no question.
Yeah, no question on that. To me,
I like Jen Ortega's take on it because she adds both the original Wednesday and Christina Ricci's and makes it kind of her own. But I think for me, also, I just think it's an age thing. I like Christina Ricci as well. I mean, I've got a crush on her too. There's a bunch of movies she's been in that I really, really like.
Oh yeah,
the Ice Storm alone.
Sleepy Hollow, right?
Can't
go
Black
wrong.
Snake Moan.
Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah, Black Snake Moan's good. The Ice Storm. No, if anybody's ever seen that?
No.
Ang Lee. It's on the Criterion Collection, so you can pick it up during this month for half off.
But I do know what you're talking about. The Ang Lee. Okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It's got Sigourney Weaver in it, Elijah Wood, and
it's like a
Toby
fall
Maguire, I
movie,
think.
right? Yeah.
I think even Kevin Kline might have been in it, if I remember right. Yeah, or Kevin Spacey, one of the two. One of the Kevins.
Klein, I believe. I don't think Spacey was in it.
But Jenna Ortega, she's great though, and she kind of, with making it her own with the dance moves. I mean, that's like the best scene. Such a good dance scene. But it's great. Wednesday always has some kind of dance, some signature dance. Oh, great choice. All right. Let's go Dragon Movie Guy. Oh, and because you came in a little bit late, actually, first, let me pose this question for you. How'd you go about choosing for this topic? Like, what did you consider family? Like, because I know you were thinking TV as well. Like, how'd you go about making your choices? Did you want to go obvious choices?
Well,
what were you thinking?
It's a bit of low hanging fruit. I gotta admit, it's the ones that are not just family but found families. So that the found family aspect definitely comes into play with a couple of my choices. The honorable mention that turned into one of the top 5 is just an homage to something that happened recently, and it's the world of television, but it also deals with family at that time in their lives. But yeah, so for me, family is it is relative to what it is, because blood family has its place, but found family and the family that you find and the family that you choose can be just as important as the definition of family as blood family can be.
And so, what was your first one? Which one you going with? Who do you want to shout out?
My first one was the Corleones from the Godfather film. How can you not? Vito, Michael, James Caan, of course, Fredo. Who doesn't love Fredo? Who doesn't love and hate Fredo at the same time? And also not a member of the blood family, but Tom. I mean, you have Robert Duvall there as the consigliere, the lawyer, the family lawyer, but who's also basically one of the sons in the Corleone family. That also kind of extends to the films that came along later. Godfather Part 3, the kid characters and Andy Garcia wasn't quite as dynamic as the first two films. The first two are all-time classics, but how do you not love the family elements in the Godfather films? Because not just because it's family, but it's the family. It's the whole, it's two amazing films and actually a pretty decent third film 20 years later when Francis Ford Coppola really needed a hit. Sadly, it's sort of like with actresses who turn 30, they save nudity until they need a hit. They need a job. And comedians are the same way with comedy sequels for whatever reason. Look at Ben Stiller in Zoolander 2 and Dumb and Dumber 2 with Jim Carrey and the worst of all, Anchorman 2 with Will Ferrell. But when it comes to family,
Grown Ups 2.
I haven't even bothered
worse
with
than
Grown Ups 1.
I like all of those movies.
Yeah, I really all the sequels.
Wow,
I'm
a sequel guy. Yeah,
nice.
I like Anchorman 2 personally.
Okay, nice. And in this, those are great pictures. Godfather Part 2, especially one of the greatest sequels of all time. To a certain extent, it's the found family too. I mean, the actress that goes Annie Hall. You have Annie Hall in there as Michael's wife. It's just even without James Caan, even without Sonny in the sequel, the storytelling and the issues of family and even family members who are no longer there. With Vito proper in terms of Marlon Brando not being there anymore and James Caan's character being killed off at the end of the first film, you can still feel their presences, and you can definitely feel Robert Duvall's mustache in that picture too. That's a great picture. But yeah, so it's not just family, but the family. I'm not huge into mobster films in general, but if there is a mobster film for me to be truly drawn in by, of loyalty and betrayal and all those kinds of elements, to me, it's the Corleone family in the Godfather series.
Yeah, that was an awesome choice. I mean, the first Godfather movie to me is still my favorite by far. I know some people like Part 2, but I'm like, number one for me. There's so many great characters in that one.
The beauty is they're so different films too, because the first film is really just a great storytelling, a once upon a time type story. And the second one is so epic in its scale with the two different storylines and where the stories intersect as Vito's career goes up and Michael's career goes down as he kind of descends into hell, and that whole last scene with Michael where they close the door and the camera pulling away slowly. That scene has been recreated in so many different films, and including Disney in the Marvel Cinematic Universe in the streaming series. Luke Cage. Luke Cage's second season ended with an homage to the end of the Godfather Part 2. So yeah, both Godfather 1 and Part 2, just such classic films, but for different reasons and completely different films too. But yeah, family is the one thing that ties them both together. Brilliant.
Also, I think it was a Paramount Plus. I don't know if you saw it, Dragon Guy, but they had the 10-episode TV series called
The Offer. Very good. Very good.
The Offer?
Yeah.
So good.
I haven't seen it. I've heard of it.
It's very good, and Miles Teller does an awesome job. It's basically like a story about the Miles Teller character. He's the character that was with. I'm not sure if Paramount was a studio or not, but he was a guy who fought to get into the industry, and he fought to get a job working for promoting films. He had went to a film festival and had fallen in love with like the Planet of the Apes and wanted to tell epic stories like that. And he actually gave up. Like, not sure I can remember the movie right now, but he gave up the. Oh well, he got to start by doing Hogan's Heroes. He promoted Hogan's Heroes.
Great show.
After that, and he was the one that really sold the idea because at the times the networks were doing like really kind of stuffy kind of stuff, and he had went in with his writing partner and kind of came up with the Schultz character and all this quirks and stuff like that. Yeah, and stuff like that, and sound like Chris. But he got himself out of doing Godfather 2 because he wanted to do a pet project, and I can't think of it right now. I'll look it up in a second. But
no worries.
But yeah,
Caveman, what are you gonna go with for your first shout out?
Well, let me put this thing away. The Godfather thing.
Okay, no worries. Should I do my shout out?
Who here has ever wanted to have a dragon and wanted to train it?
That would be me. I'll take a dragon. Oh well, there's a dragon right there, right? Dragon movie.
Yeah,
I want to train myself.
Yeah, but I'm talking about how to train your dragon.
Such a good animated show or movie. The sequels are all good too.
This is a kind of like you were saying, Dragon, about like a homage of a family. People that come together to create this great Viking family that, and I don't think you probably included it, Mike, but there's also the family of dragons that show up that's like behind them in one of the pictures. But yeah, so the dragons themselves, become a monarchy of the sorts. But one sad thing about animated stuff is you really can't get appreciation or remember who the actors are. But Craig Ferguson is the peg leg guy. Jay Baruchel.
Baruchel?
Yeah, Baruchel. Thank you. Is the Hiccup, and then Gerard Butler is his father, and Christopher Mintz Plaze is Fish Legs. America Ferrera is Astrid, the love interest. Jonah Hill is Snout Out, and T.J. Miller is Tough Nut, and Kristen Wiig is Rough Nut. They're brother and sister. Tough Nut and Rough Nut. So, anyways, yep.
Great choice. Yeah, that's one I wasn't thinking of initially, but when you sent me the pictures, I'm like, oh, those movies are awesome. All three of them are great. I think they're even working on a fourth one, if I heard correctly. Or they making a live action. They're doing a live action one, something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, great choice right there. And then it inspired me to choose an animated movie myself. So my animated choice is a very recent one, a very recent Pixar movie. And I like this movie, I think, more than most. But I got to shout out Elemental. the fire family is fantastic in Elemental. The water family is great as well. But it's great to see the different family dynamics and how they are so different from each other. You know, the fire family is a little spicy, right? And how they communicate, you know. The water family is kind of more, you know, flowing, I guess you could say, in their water nature. But then to see kind of how they collide together when it becomes a rom-com and you got the fire lady with the water guy. And, you know, they just come together, and it's a beautiful thing to see different families, different cultures come together, and then they make something awesome out of it. So I really like that movie myself. I know it's a newer one though. Have any of you guys seen Elemental out there?
Not yet.
How'd you like it, guy? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I liked it. I liked it quite a bit. It was it's to me, it's kind of a slow burn.
Oh no pun intended.
Yeah.
So weird.
But it definitely grew on me as I went through it, and I liked, you know, that we don't really have any pictures of the show, but I do like that they went on to expand the universe to show that there's air families and there's tree families and there's, you know, different. There may have been rock families, I don't know, but and then they had and the funny part was that the water family, they were like plumbers. You know, that didn't know how to plumb very well. And fire family were cooks that didn't know how to keep the heat down in the kitchen. You know.
Yeah. Such a good movie. Great.
Is it out on Disney Plus yet?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's where I saw it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so good. I mean, the first time Pixar has done like a true rom-com, so I liked how it was just so different in that way.
And I'd love to get that Steelbook if it wasn't $40, but
oh yeah, I was like, nope, not doing it, not doing it on that one, definitely not. Okay, so let's actually Ben Buster unfortunately cannot be here tonight, but he sent in his choices. So let's go ahead and bring up a Ben Buster choice because he had some great ones, and we got to mention them as well. But when I saw this one, I'm like, okay, how did I not think of this? You got to have the Bat family. What a great choice. I mean, come on, look at all these Bat characters in there. You got Batman, you got Nightwing in there, you got Robin, you got Batwoman in there. And the Bat family, you can really expand to even more characters too, right? The different Robins, if you want to even throw like a Red Hood, Jason Todd in there. But yeah, what a great cast of characters. The Bat family, everything, comics, TV, movies, video games now. Like they have their Gotham Knights game out. I believe I heard it's pretty fun actually. But yeah, when I saw that as a big comic book fan, I'm like, good choice, Ben Buster. That was a very good choice.
I'm surprised we haven't seen a Bat family feature film.
I mean, we rarely even get Robin, right? I think they're afraid of adding in more family members. They're like, the Batman and Robin one right there, you know. But hey, they're gonna go with the Damian Wayne Robin next. So maybe if that works out well, they add in a few more Bat family characters.
Wasn't there just a Batman Kid versus Superman Kid movie that came out?
Yes, I have that one. Yes, Battle of the Super Sons.
Yeah.
It was okay.
Also,
all the DC animated titles are usually like,
there's a TV series that started out on it was either PlayStation. I think it was PlayStation was when they were trying to produce TV shows, and it's called Titans.
Oh yeah,
I've seen
so
that.
I watched the first season of that one. Yeah.
And that's kind of a family of sort, or a found family, where Nightwing is going out and he's trying to scoop up these people that are being kind of left behind.
All right, so that's our first round, everybody. We are now going to get moving along right into our second film family shout out. So number 2, Ryan, what do you got for number 2?
All right, I was 11 when this came out. I played with toys all through the 80s, and this family is kind of an adoptive family. We're talking about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Raphael, Michelangelo, Donatello, Leonardo, and of course Splinter. But
And pizza.
yes, pizza.
That almost made
growing
my
up
list.
Growing up and playing with the toys and all that, and then finding out they're going to make a live action movie about this, it's awesome. And they really do hold true to the family theme throughout it. They're always looking out for each other. Splinter treats them as his own sons, tries to teach them the proper ways of life and all that. And yeah, dude, if Pizza Man's got like 15 seconds left, the pizza's free or whatever. But yeah, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Man, I can't speak tonight. I've been up since
that was a great choice, though.
3:30.
Do you have a favorite turtle, though, Ryan? What would be your favorite one out of the group?
I loved Donatello only because of the video game, because with the bow staff he could just whoop everybody. But I think overall I kind of like Raphael a little bit more because he's like the brooding, like I want to be left alone, but I want to jump in there and just whoop everybody's butt. Turtle,
he's like the
I
Batman
think the most
of the group.
Yeah,
that's my pick as well as Raphael.
See, I'm a Michelangelo person. I just like the funny character.
He is funny.
I like
Mega Mike the party dude.
Yep.
I liked Raphael as well because he had the Electra sigh, like the sigh like Electra.
Yeah, you have a favorite out of the group?
I could go with the reporter.
April.
April.
Yeah.
April, right?
Casey Jones, a very underrated person in the movies, but he was always a great character too. Who's the guy in the hockey mask?
Which evolution of the turtles do you like the best, Ryan?
I still am a big fan of the original series, the original line. The Michael Bay stuff was a little bit over the top. I seen what he was going for, but I'm still a big fan of just the original series, just because that's what I grew up on and that's what I played with as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen the new animated movie, Ryan?
No, I haven't. I'm going to pick up the Steelbook when it comes out. I think it comes out here a couple weeks, doesn't it?
I think
the end of the month or something like that.
Yeah. I've heard it's really, really good. Actually,
it's so good.
Yeah, and I've heard if you're a fan of like our era turtles, that you're gonna like that era, or you're gonna like this movie. So I'm excited to see it. I missed it in theaters.
It is streaming, Ryan. I know you don't stream.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I don't stream too much. I got too many movies to watch.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, not only the video game was significant, but also the role-playing game, the 20-sided dice, build your own character. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the role-playing game was huge. I didn't play a ton of role-playing games growing up, but most of my friends did. So it's amazing how wide a franchise Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles has turned into over the years.
Yeah.
All right, dude. What are you thinking?
So I'm going with another kind of off family from 1993. It's going to be Coneheads. So this is a family that they're just trying to live their life, and they're on a new planet trying to learn everything together. And I used to work at a grocery store, and every time I walked by eggplants, the whole scene went through my head like, so I'd always do that like to myself. I'm sure people thought I was crazy, but that, like, like them chewing on condoms for gum. It's a great movie and has a ton of cameos. I'm a big SNL fan, so it's awesome to see, Adam Sandler in there, Chris Farley. It's just a great movie. I love the movie. And like I said, I love, it's just a great family. And, they came from the 80s and worked their way into the 90s into the movies. So I got to go with that. And I think I don't know what character, I think I like the daughter the most. I can't think of her name. But I just like the situations she's being put in, or like she's going out doing more not interesting things, but more like teen things that I would be into.
She's trying so hard to be just a normal teenager.
Yeah, and it's very relatable,
Yeah, I love how the fact people are surprised and we're like, "Oh, you're not actually from France?"
Yeah,
come on.
Oh, that movie is so funny though. So many great lines in there.
The fact that them having sex was like ring toss.
Yeah.
The thing that I really liked about that film too is that it really does kind of cover the immigrant story and the first generation born in the new country kind of dynamic. You don't think it's Saturday Night Live comedy, but like they really do capture that between the parents from the old world, in this case, literal old world, and the daughter being born here. So yeah, I like that as well.
I agree.
Yeah, such a good one. Not enough people talk about that one anymore. We gotta bring back more Coneheads.
We got to bring back Coneheads.
Yes.
Great SNL characters.
Yes.
All right, Brian, what are you thinking?
Oh, mine. The next one I have is the Torettos from the Fast and Furious. Every combination of Fast and Furious, angry. It's all about the fast. It's all about the family. It's all about the Coronas, sharing a Corona with some blood relatives, some married relatives, some just sort of, found a bunch of guys that can drive, and literally go to outer space now in certain films.
In a Fiero.
Yeah, the Fiero in outer space. I mean, God, who doesn't love a Fiero? And I'm not even a car guy. That's the funny thing. But yeah, I love that balance between Paul Walker's character and Vin Diesel's character. I like that dynamic. You have the one guy that's the pretty boy. You have the one guy that's the alpha male. And then somehow they form a friendship instead of just, trying to out testosterone each other all the time. I do think the later films have gotten a little... since Paul Walker died, because I don't think they've ever truly replaced his energy in the family. Like, they've just sort of added more, more alpha male guys. They haven't brought in another pretty boy to replace Paul Walker. I mean, I don't know how you replace that character or that actor, but yeah, just the family elements and what people do for their found family, what people can bond over and become family. Those films are a lot of fun. So the found family aspect is, there's a reason why I can say it's all about the family, and you know exactly what that is. So the family elements in that film series are strong. So.
And people must love the movies because we're at number 10 now, and they keep going. So
it's dumb fun. It is just
Actually,
straight up dumb fun.
We're at 11. Pops and Shaw.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I liked Fast X. I don't know if you guys have seen that one yet, but I had a good time with that one. Like bringing Jason Momoa in, like he was a really good villain.
He was,
yeah. I like that movie. But now I go in knowing the movies are like superhero films. If you go in with that mindset, you'll like it a lot more because it's like Vin Diesel. He's unstoppable. Just think of him as like Superman, and you're good to go.
Like his car's name Crypto.
There you go. Yes. All right, Caveman, what are you thinking?
So, who here has ever wanted to build a house?
No, not with these prices nowadays.
Yeah. No, this is the topic of the movie, and it's called Life is a House.
Wow. Okay.
And,
some more Kevin Kline.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So this is kind of like a family in crisis when Hayden Christensen's character is lost and trying to find himself and is in trouble with addiction and the law and what he does to try to fund that addiction. It's not. I put a disclaimer in my postings on this stream is that these aren't necessarily family friendly films, but these are films that deal with family dynamics, family crisis, and how families splinter and how they come back together sometimes. And to me, this was just a wonderful kind of a father and son telling of this, because Kevin Kline is not doing well with his health, and he sees that his son is careening off of a cliff in his life choices, and he tries to step in and adjust this because he has a unique property that is got this wonderful oceanic view in the background, and it's got a great cast. Kristen Scott Thomas, Hayden Christian Anderson, which is really a great movie that he's a part of that is not Star Wars. And then, of course, Kevin Kline and who am I forgetting?
Jenna Malone.
Yes, Jenna Malone, because she's his love interest, and Mary Steenburgen has a little role in this as well. I really wish that there was a streaming platform just so that more people could see this movie, because it's really was really impactful for me. But I'll just briefly read the synopsis. When a man is diagnosed with terminal cancer, he takes custody of his misanthropic teenage son, for whom quality time means getting high, engaging in small-time prostitution, and avoiding his father. So, he's trying to, throw out a life preserver for his son, trying to bring him in on this epic build that they're trying to do and accomplish. And he's also, dealing with the stuff himself about dealing with cancer, and whether or not he's going to even be able to be around long enough to be able to see his son, come back into life's full graces.
Well, great choice, Caveman, because that is one I have not heard of yet, but now you've put it on everybody's radar, so I'm going to have to hopefully check it out in the future.
I haven't seen that film, but if I remember right, I think this is the film that Hayden Christensen basically got Star Wars Episode 2 as Anakin Skywalker based off of his performance in this film. So I've yet to see
that. Yeah, it was 2001, so it would have been before, or that's when it was released. It would have been before the that second movie.
All right, so getting to my second choice here, we got to go with a family that everybody knows around the holidays, of course, and it was even in the countdown trailer, of course. Here we got to have the McAllisters, right? Home Alone family. You got to mention these characters. I mean, their personalities. I mean, you got what? Buzz in there. You got the uncle, who's absolutely hilarious, but the mom, the dad are great. Of course, Kevin, tons of personality right there. So this whole group is just absolutely hilarious in the first and second movie. And it's all about family, these movies, right? I mean, by the second movie, he's just wishing to see his family again. So great family in a great family genre movie. So you guys big Home Alone fans as well?
Absolutely.
Big Joe Pesci fan on that movie too, because
yeah, the wet bandits, the sticky bandits.
And honestly, we wouldn't have gotten Roman Roy without that film. So without Home Alone, Kieran Culkin.
Yeah, that's such a good movie. That's like a staple I have to watch every holiday season. Got to watch Home Alone.
Oh yeah, it's they even play it like in July for like Christmas in July, and I'll watch it. I'll sit there, like it'll be on TV, and I'll just be clicking through the channels, and I'm like, okay, I'll watch a little bit of it. I'll watch the whole thing all the way through, and then like around the holidays, I can watch it like all like they'll show that Christmas Vacation, and I can watch them over and over again. I just don't get tired of those two movies.
So good.
Yeah,
it has everything. I mean, the music's great in there. It's just so
who's
good.
your favorite member of the family?
Oh, I mean,
you can include the the Wet Bandits.
So many good ones, but I might just go with Buzz in there.
Yeah,
He's
same
just
here.
hilarious. Like, the things he says in that movie are just like, I wouldn't let you stay in here if you were growing out of my.
Yes.
And then like when they have their like fight, right? And he's like convincing the family like he's the good kid out of it all.
Yeah.
Top that trout sniffer.
Yeah.
Oh god. He's great. He's hilarious.
And Daniel Stern and Joe Pesci,
Oh,
brilliant
yeah.
as comedic foils.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's like you wouldn't necessarily think like Joe Pesci would do that kind of movie, like family comedy, because he's in a lot of like crime dramas and that type of stuff. So, but for him to do that, it's like, wow, that was great. All right, and then
My Cousin Vinny was a family comedy.
Oh, yeah. You're right. Yep, that's true.
And he was the comedic element in the Lethal Weapon sequels as they went along.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I don't.
But I
think
do,
I'm
but
for
I,
Lethal Weapons.
yeah, but I do think that I agree with Mike. Like when he did Home Alone, that was kind of a shock for people.
Yeah.
I mean, he's in Casino, just like vice gripping people's heads and stuff. Like. All right, let's see. Let's go to a Ben Buster choice here. Now, you guys are gonna have to help me with if you guys know what this movie is, because I'm not sure if I know what this movie, or maybe it's a show. Who are these characters?
Lois and Clark, isn't that Dean Cain and Terry Hatcher as Lois and Clark?
Terry Hatcher, yeah.
Terry Hatcher.
That's not.
And I believe that's the dad. That's K something, like the literal letter K is the mom, whatever her last name is, plays the mom, and then I can't remember the dad's name, but I believe that's from Lois and Clark.
Okay, so they're the Superman parents, right?
Yeah, they were the Kents.
Yeah.
If
cool.
I'm right.
Jonathan and Martha
Kent.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I haven't watched that show yet. I've heard pretty decent things about it, though.
I watched it when I was a kid. I had a poster of Dean Cain on my wall as Superman. So now whenever I see him, I'm like, oh, it's Superman.
He's pretty good for being. It was pretty good for being early '90s television, as far as like action films or action series that probably should be on the big screen, but they did a relatively good job for a season or two. Kind of got away from them a little bit after they had Jack Shea, Lex Luthor, shave his head and become Lex Luthor fully. But pretty good show for the first season or two.
And then just jumping back into the comments real quick. I know we had a few more people join in, so we got Jerry in here as well.
Jerry.
We got Pure Hangout saying, trying to guess who will have Rob Zombie's The Munsters in their list. I can't say anything. Yeah, then maybe it's a surprise.
It's number one on all of our lists.
I know, right? Pure Hangout saying my kids really like The Elemental. I haven't watched it yet. Pure Hangout, you gotta watch it. It's so good. Vin Diesel's Fast and Furious family is everybody's number one. And then we had Holland jump in as well. Hey, Holland. All right, so let's get into
real quickly. That Offer TV series is based on the producer Albert S. Ruddy, and the movie that he really wanted to make instead of The Godfather 2 was
Longest Yard.
Longest Yard.
Oh, nice.
Which is a good movie as well.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And he's gone on to produce some really great movies. And he's a writer on many of them. He was a writer on the original Longest Yard. He did Coonskin after that. How the West Was Won, another TV series. It says Matilda, which is.
You say Matilda?
Not the same Matilda.
Oh, okay.
I was like, I don't remember. Matilda's so good, though.
Yeah.
It's Kangaroo Matilda.
I haven't heard of that one.
Yeah.
I could get on board with that.
Yeah. Death Hunt, Cannonball Run,
Mm.
Lassiter, Farewell to the King, Speed Zone, Ladybugs.
Ladybugs.
Yeah.
Love
The
Cannonball
Scout.
Run.
The Scout.
Scout's good too.
Just so many.
All right, jumping into our third film family shout out. Brian, what do we got for number 3?
Another dark family comedy. This is about the Hoovers and their little bus trip to a little concert. Well, not a concert, a show with their daughter Olive, and that is Little Miss Sunshine. Just a crazy family dynamic. You've got the crazy grandpa, you've got the suicidal uncle, you've got the son that has these big dreams, and come to find out he's got color blindness and all that, and that just ruins his career. And Olive is just leagues above her level and her desires and wants and needs in life, and it's just a good little family drama, and it really pulls you in.
The late great Alan Arkin won his Oscar for this.
Mhm.
Yep.
See, I need to see this movie. I still have not seen this one.
It's good.
Oh God, the cast in that. I mean, just look at that picture, and every single one of those people is a movie star. I mean, Paul Dano, Steve Carell, not Tony Collette.
It is Tony Collette.
It's
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
Tony
Tony
Collette.
Collette and
Greg Kinnear.
yeah, Greg Kinnear,
Mhm.
former later host Greg Kinnear. Yeah, great,
Yes.
great cast, every single one of them. And I can't remember whether or not Little Miss Sunshine came out before or after. I drink your milkshake, but Paul Dano is the character that Daniel Day-Lewis kills at the end of There Will Be Blood. So yeah, great casting in that film, phenomenal.
So Little Miss Sunshine came out 2006. There Will Be Blood was 2007.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yes, I drank your milkshake. But yes, Little Miss Sunshine, great. I love
And is
Steve
that
Carell.
a good look right there? What is
It
that?
is a metal pack,
Oh,
That's
so
cool.
it's close. But
very nice.
Steve Carell, I've never found him funny. Like when he tries to be comedic, like I like 40-Year-Old Virgin because it's just an
so
awkward
good.
comedy.
Mhm.
But I really like his just dark characters like Little Miss Sunshine, Dan in Real Life, Crazy Stupid Love. Like his more darker characters are just so more relatable. I
Oh,
think.
he's really good in The Way Back. Have you seen that
Yes.
one? Oh,
Yes.
That's what I've heard.
he's very good in that.
Yeah, because it's a really small part for him too, but he plays the asshole stepdad.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
And then honestly too, it really is amazing though because he's such an amazing actor, and yet because of Michael Scott and The Office, it's
Yes.
such an iconic character that's so over the top. It's hard for him to be any other character. So I think in some ways, him going deeply into dramatic roles, like he was in the wrestling movie with the Hulk, where he played DuPont.
Yeah.
And he was
Foxcatcher.
Foxcatcher, where
yes.
he was basically doing a giant Alfred Hitchcock impersonation the entire time, in the same way that Johnny
Yeah.
Depp was doing a Keith Richards the entire time. That doesn't sound anything like the real DuPont, but yeah, just amazing. Jim, I love it. Yeah, love him as an actor.
What's the Steve Carell movie where he's? I don't think it's Dan in real life, but I could be wrong. But it's one where he is mentally challenged, and he develops this world around him.
Oh yeah, I want to
Oh,
see
that
that.
Marwin.
Welcome to Marwin.
Something Marwin.
Yeah, that
Oh,
was
I
good.
saw that one. I thought it was pretty decent. I know some people
Yeah.
don't like it.
And he has like the little dolls or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
They
that
turn
was,
into real women or
Yeah.
whatever.
I think.
Well, there's one of Marwin was one of those, but the one the where he was making dolls or maquettes was Dinner for Schmucks.
yeah, yeah,
where he
yeah,
played, that was a
yeah.
comedy though, where
Yeah.
he played like a special needs or close to special needs
Yeah.
character, and
Yeah,
Uh,
but I'm thinking
yeah.
of the one Caveman's talking about, where it's like,
Oh.
yeah, where he's like, isn't it a Robert Zemeckis movie? I feel like it was.
He's getting
I think-
bullied, and he goes into his
Yeah.
own little world to try to
Yeah.
deal with stuff, and then
yeah. I've wanted to see that movie. It looked really good.
All right, going over to Dude. What do you got for us?
All right, I got to bring up another famous family, and that's going to be the Griswolds from Vacation. And you know what? It's, I picked this one, but also like I watched my favorite vacation movie is Christmas Vacation. I know we just talked about it. So I think this would probably be my favorite family is the Christmas Vacation family. I love Cousin Eddie. We get just enough of him to where it's not too annoying. Where I feel like I know that there is a movie where it's just Cousin Eddie and it's just too much Cousin Eddie. So, yeah. So I love this family. My favorite is Cousin Eddie, and I do love Chevy Chase. He's just like, he's trying so hard to just have a good time with his family, and everything backfires on him, and it's just absolutely hilarious.
Oh, that movie's so good. And I watched it for like the first time this year when the 4K came out, and I'm so glad I did. Oh, so
Which one?
funny.
The Vacation. Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
I didn't even watch Christmas Vacation until that 4K came out, so it's like been in the
Wow.
past couple of years.
Yeah.
But
Eddie and the Ascot was
so hilarious.
It's a great movie. It's a movie I grew up watching, or all of them. I grew up watching all of them.
And
Even-
he's just trying to get them to Wally World. It's like
Yeah.
mad of it. He's like, you guys, and he like starts cussing them out in the car. He's like, we're
Sorry,
almost,
folks, the park's closed. The moose should have told you.
Yeah, and then John Candy's in it. It's just great.
So
And
good.
that part of the thing too with Christmas Vacation was that was the only one of them where we actually see them at home.
Mhm.
So, other than that, we don't really see them. Other than just when they're leaving at the beginning of the film, we don't really see them at home in their own element. So that whole thing of how over the top he is with literally blinding Elaine from Seinfeld, and
Yeah.
Rocket from SNL next door is just Oh god.
Oh,
awesome.
he puts them through hell and has no idea.
That's a big Christmas tree. Where are you going to put it? Bend over. I'll show you.
Yeah.
and the poor cat.
Oh,
Yeah, poor cat. And then the grandma who's Betty Boop in real life, the voice of Betty Boop. She's like singing. Yeah, she's singing the little old lady there who sings the national anthem. That's Betty Boop's voice. So
She's not the same lady from The Wedding Singer, is it?
No, it's not her.
No, okay. It's
But I know. I know what you're thinking about, the girl with the meatballs. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the
hey,
one who
two
does
meatballs.
the one who does Gangster's Paradise at the very beginning. I say
Yeah.
hip hop, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Dragon, where are you going with this one?
My next one is it continues the found family trope, the trend. It is the I don't even know if there's the name for them, but the Guardians of the Galaxy. You can call them the Star Lords, if you will, but this is another ragtag group of leftovers and left behinds who find family in each other and bond through doing extraordinary things or weird things in weird situations and somehow through the magic of James Gunn always kind of come out on top at the end, even when sacrificing themselves and who actually would have ever thought that the phrase "I'm Mary Poppins, y'all" would actually be a thing. And without this family, we don't have Yondu set up as the villain in the first film, or one of the villains in the first film, like becoming a father figure in the second film, and just everything about the weird and quirky. And I think weird and quirky in Hollywood kind of gets overdone some of the time. But yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy is just one of those where you take a talented cast. My fantasy football team name is CGI Ruins Movies. So I'm not a huge fan of all CGI characters in general, but Groot looks amazing. Rocket doesn't look photoreal, but with the voice of Bradley Whitford is amazing in its own right. And yeah, of course, the grumbling voice of Vin Diesel as I Am Groot. Awesome.
Here's a little trivia for you. Does anybody know how many times Vin Diesel recorded that line, "I am Groot."
It's like over 1,000 different variations, isn't there?
He did 1 million.
Wow.
Yeah, it's over 1,000, I guess.
I will say though,
was with you, Ryan. I
the
was
one
thinking- I
the
was
one
thinking-
family element that I didn't like about Guardians 2 and 3 was that they basically turned Drax, who was a great dynamic character in the first film and sort of the glue that keeps everyone together. They basically turned him into Paulie from the Rocky film series. They took a dynamic character who was a key dramatic figure in the first film and turned him into a giant punchline, just telling perverted jokes the entire time in the second and third film. So that was the one thing I didn't like about that family aspect of it. Of they didn't quite know what to do with Drax's character after the first film, so they turned him into Paulie.
That may have been why he wanted out of it.
Probably,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and he was trying to get more. He was trying to get more serious roles too. Like he kind of got roped into the Marvel thing real quick, and then I think he did like Bushwick and
He did really good in Knock at the Cabin.
yeah,
Yeah.
Hotel Artemis. Was that the other one he was in that was kind of just not good?
Yeah, and then he had one with the girl that was in the latest Barbie film was his, I don't want to say daughter, but the girl he was watching after in the action movie that came out right before pandemic set in.
Yeah.
I remember watching it, but I don't remember the name.
Yeah, it was actually a pretty good film, but
What- Was it Stuber?
no,
Oh, he
it
was in Stuber too. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was kind of funny. But yeah, I agree with you. 2 was by far the worst Drax. 3, they tried to redeem him maybe a little bit, but it really was just him and Mantis just trading stupid jokes with each other.
yeah, and they're talented actors, but yeah, I think because the die had kind of been cast a little bit on those characters, they're kind of stuck in the roles that they're in.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
the
all those
one-
movies are awesome, though. All 3 are good.
My Spy, by the way, that's the one that was right
yeah.
before the pandemic set in. That was the one with the young actress who just stole the show. It was you could totally tell that was supposed to be just a giant Dave Bautista star vehicle, but Chloe Coleman was the little girl that stole the show of the film.
So, Dragon, who's your favorite Guardian?
Oh, well, I'm a little bit biased. Chris Pratt. Only because he's also from the Seattle area. And he is 3 years younger than I am, but he went to Lake Stevens High School and I went to Mariner High School. Lake Stevens is sort of the affluent suburb of the northern suburb of Seattle. And I went to Mariner, which is in Everett, which is basically there should have been a producer for the Jerry Springer Show permanently housed in Everett. Like, so that was different demographics, similar time. But I know people that knew Chris Pratt. I never actually got to meet him. So, he's a Seattle area guy. I gotta go with Chris Pratt.
Yeah, I'm a
Andy is the
Rocket
best name.
person. Rocket Raccoon's my favorite. And then they gave him his own movie with the third one, and I loved it. So good. That third one just gets you teary-eyed. I mean, even the second one, the Yondu stuff is so powerful by the end. I mean, those movies can get you going. Yeah, good choice.
I have to go with Chris Pratt also, and I'm kind of disappointed that he had to give up his power. I mean, he had a superpower, but he had to give it up in the first one to essentially kill his father. Spoiler. Sorry.
All right, Caveman, what are you thinking? What's your choice?
Well, you might want to go big on me.
Oh, we,
Okay. We've talked about training dragons, and we've talked about building a house. And have you ever wanted to build a robot?
Oh God, yes.
That's so cool.
Oh,
So Iron Giant,
Vin Diesel is all over this list, guys.
Yes. He's all about family.
Yeah.
Anyways, right on my mouth. This is another one of those kind of like homage of a family where the Harry Connick Jr. character is one running the junkyard and is kind of like a instrumental help be a father role to the little kid. I can't remember his character's name. But then, Vin Diesel again pops in the role, and he's just a science experiment gone wrong, or never really known if he just comes, crashing from outer space, or whether he was, developed by some, third world country mastermind to be a, killing destruction machine. And I just noticed that, oh no, I thought it was a character. I won't say how big he is, but and then it's a good story on morality and the evolution of the Iron Giant character, of how he finds out what was built to be and what he wants to be. And it's, I don't want to say it's a Johnny Five is alive type of movie, but he does get his own identity in a way.
Well, great choice. And I love how you have the collectible too. Now I'm just thinking about that Iron Giant character. He even showed up in a Ready Player One, right? There was Iron Giant in there. Oh my god. Yeah. Such a cool character.
And when I was doing looking for photos for this stream, I found out that there was a somewhere there's a released copy of Iron Giant and Iron Man as a team up. So I don't know where it falls in the Marvel universe or anything like that, but the artwork looked very cool.
Is Iron Giant in the Marvel universe?
I don't know. I don't think so. I want to say
it was a comic at one point, wasn't it? A comic strip or an actual comic? It may actually be a Marvel property.
I feel like he also appears in Space Jam Legacy. If I'm not wrong, he's in the audience. Yep. So he must be owned by Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
All right, so going to my choice here. I knew when I put the stream together, I had to have this one. And once again, it was in my countdown. We got to have this family right here. Shazam! Look at this. You got to have the Shazamly in here when you're talking families. First of all, these movies are awesome, of course, but a great cast of characters here. I mean, Zachary Levi, of course, is my favorite. As Shazam, is just a hilarious, childlike kind of personality to him, but he really enjoys being a superhero, which I think is really unique, because a lot of the DC heroes and a lot of the heroes in general, it's like they're kind of sad to be a hero. It's like Batman's always like, ooh, I'm Batman, always sad looking, but Shazam's like, yeah, I get to fight a dragon, let's go. He's always having a good time being a superhero. But all the cast members are great. They do a great job, the kids and the adults. So like they match the kids and the adults perfectly in those movies. Even the parents, the foster parents there, they're great in it as well. And then in the second movie, they even get more to do, so you see the family connection more and the emotions come across. So I absolutely love the Shazam movies, and I think they're a great family. Have you guys seen the Shazam movies at all?
I've seen the first one and I really liked it, but I have not seen the second one yet.
Oh, I love the second one.
I feel like I like to see movies in theaters, and the window for movies in theaters now is so short to where it's like if I'm sick for a week, there goes that week's movie. Yeah. It's like, dang.
No, yeah, you're right. Movies will be out sometimes within a week. I mean, 2 weeks sometimes, max. Mm-hmm. Unless you're Barbie or Oppenheimer, you get a lot.
Yeah.
But everything else is like quick turnaround.
I liked the second film. I didn't really love it. It was just to me it tried too hard to do too many things. Like I really wish they would have done a streaming series with the Shazam family because there's so many great characters, so many great actors. I really wish we could have gotten to know because 6 kids, 6 adult characters based off those kids, plus the 2 parents, plus the villains. Is too many characters for the second film, in my opinion. But
shout out to Megan Good from My Cousin Skeeter. I've had a crush on her since I was a little kid.
Oh yeah,
the girl in the purple. Yeah,
she's so good in the movie too. Like,
is she?
Yeah.
Just being that Darla personality in that first one, like runs up to Santa Claus, and she's like, "I've been really good."
Yeah, Zachary Levi, another family reference, but this is a TV series that he was in, and that's got to be Chuck. If you have not seen Chuck, you need to find it. You need to watch it. I believe it's streaming somewhere, Hulu or something, but it's absolutely wonderful. He is works as a Geek Squad nerd. He is stumbled across by like the CIA or whatever, and his father is played by I can't think of his freaking name, but anyway, it's his father somehow implanted a database memory, so he's got like this photographic memory, and he can do like in the Matrix, he can do jujitsu because he can flash it in his memory if a certain scene or something triggers that. But he's got the adopted family of the store where he works at, and of course he's got his sister and his brother-in-law, and then his mother, who is played by Lindsay Wagner. And I wish I could remember who the father is because he's a big actor too. Oh, I think he was Quantum Leap. He's the Quantum Leap guy, the original Quantum Leap guy.
Scott Bakula
is the dad, yes. I believe so. You can correct me if I'm wrong, Ryan. But
looking at the pilot right now, Matt Bomer.
Matt
was
Bomer
in the pilot. Oh, C.S. Lee was in the pilot too. Interesting.
But the dad doesn't appear until later seasons. So I don't know if you do the whole cast or whatever, but I want to say it's Bakula. If it's not, it's a character that resembles him.
Well, and Yvonne Strahovski as the eye candy, but also a good actress.
Yes.
If you haven't seen The Handmaid's Tale, I just went through and was binge watching The Handmaid's Tale like a couple weeks ago. That is I'm not a Zack Snyder fan, so like people that go, "Oh, it's dark," just for the sake of being dark, being good. But The Handmaid's Tale is so dark, and it's good, but it's not good because it's dark. It's just a really, really dark tale. And Yvonne Strahovski plays a great character in that film or that streaming series. So.
And she is also in Dexter for 2 seasons, I think, and you get to see a lot more of her. Wink, wink. And then the big guy,
Adam Baldwin.
He played my bodyguard. He played the big guy in my bodyguard. What the heck is his name?
You talking about the guy from the Mighty Ducks?
Don't remember the Mighty Ducks, so it could be him, but
or My Bodyguard from the 80s. You're right.
My Bodyguard from the 80s.
Yeah, I don't remember who that was.
Talking Adam Baldwin.
Adam Baldwin, yes.
Who was also in Independence Day in a similar military-esque type character.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to a Ben Buster shout out here. And I think Ben Buster was looking at some TV stuff as well and went with these are the Huxtables, right?
Yeah.
Now, I didn't watch too much of the show, but I'm sure you guys have watched a little bit more of it than me.
I love that
I
show.
get laughing though, so
My drink is not
It's just
like
it's such a great family show, but to bring anything up with Bill Cosby nowadays, it's
Mhm.
just it's hard not to laugh sarcastically like I just did, because it's sadly it's Bill Cosby. It's the guy that released the
Yeah.
book called Fatherhood and did so much for it's Bill Cosby, it's the history of Bill Cosby, but it's just the Huxtable family. Yeah, it's a great family, and it's a great series, and it was the #1 show on NBC that created the whole must see TV Thursday night unbeatable for 20 years primetime lineup. That was the Cosby Show. It anchored at that 8 p.m. time slot, and 6 of the 8 years were just all-time great sitcoms. Like if you love sitcoms as much as I love sitcoms, it's the format that I love the most out of any television.
me too.
The writing on the Cosby Show is second to none, and part of it's that was sort of like my childhood when that show came out. But if you go back and rewatch the Cosby Show now, and kind of suspend your disbelief in terms of Bill Cosby's recent history, it's such a great family show on the surface, and yeah, it's just the themes of family run deep in that.
He was a father figure to a lot of people that grew up in the 80s. I mean, he was like somebody they looked at. He was a successful doctor, living large, was a great father, and all that stuff. And like a lot of people looked up to him throughout the 80s.
Ghost Dad.
and a lot of the other cast members have gone on to do great things. I can't think of
Adam-
the guy
well-
played.
There's Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yep.
Adam Sandler was on the show.
One of Theo's friends.
Yeah.
But Theo, he went on to do a post-apocalyptic TV show that didn't get much love. I guess after that, called Jericho. If you guys have never seen that, you might want to check it out.
And who doesn't love Lisa Bonet?
Mhm. Yeah.
She went on to do Angel Heart.
Serpent in the Rainbow,
Oh, she's in Serpent in the Rainbow?
if I remember right. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
To double check.
All right.
She also
so-
had a great small role in a role that in a it's John Cusack, High Fidelity. She has a small role in High Fidelity to where her real life daughter Zoe Kravitz eventually did a streaming show based off of High Fidelity.
Yeah.
But Lisa Bonet plays a role where she's like the artistic, it's Lisa Bonet, so she's artsy fartsy and she's singing Peter Frampton. I forgot the song, but it's like everyone kind of walks in and goes, "Is that Peter effing Frampton?" Yeah. I hate that song. Yeah. Now I kind of like that song. Yeah. She's great in this small role.
Oh, and a couple people joined in the chat, so I do want to shout them out. We got Cal Al Daly in here saying what's up. And then we also had Shmirk88. Hey, what's up, and crew? What's up? What's up? We had Hard Copy Blues as well. So yeah, awesome.
There's an episode I was watching of the Cosby Show that's very outdated now, but he's making special barbecue sauce. And he says when people eat his barbecue sauce, it makes them do weird things. I was like, oh my gosh, this is like he's just like telling everybody, it's like, dang, man. He's like, it makes adults do things that, I was like, man, this is crazy. And it's a real episode about his barbecue sauce.
He was the pudding pop man forever.
Yeah.
Everybody ate pudding pops because of him, for Christ's sake. I mean, yeah.
There's a reason why we say Cosby sweaters when people wear a really colorful sweater from the 80s. There's a reason why Cosby sweaters is a term.
Yeah.
And I made a comment in the comments to Vin's thing that he said, and I'll say it for Cody, what you just said. That's a great spiked punchline.
All right, so let's get into our fourth round. Ryan, what are you thinking here?
All right. Well, I'm going to stick with the dark people here. We're going to go with the Fireflies. Captain Spaulding, Baby Firefly, Otis, Mother Firefly, all them. House of Thousand Corpses, Devil's Rejects, Three from Hell. Yeah. But I love Rob Zombie. I mean, I grew up with his music when he got into filmmaking. House of Thousands of Corpses. I love the movie. I think I'm one of the few people that actually enjoy his movies. But The Family Sadistic, I don't watch a whole lot of horror, but for some reason this dirty trailer park torture porn gets to me.
Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but I just saw a message from Ben Buster. He says he's backstage.
Oh, I don't see him popping up yet.
I don't know how long ago he sent the message, but
he may have dropped back out.
Well, if you're out there, Ben Buster, join back in.
Yep. But
Sorry,
like I said, you're fine. The trailer park trash horror porn stuff. I do enjoy this for some reason. But and Captain Spaulding, I mean, a crazy clown that just takes no crap is great. So this is my Twisted family in this one.
Yeah, that family's so creepy. I can't watch those movies again. After seeing Devil's Rejects, I'm like, I can't do it. Cannot watch it again.
Great.
So creepy. I mean, come on, look at that.
Ugh.
Nightmares right there.
I love my favorite part of those movies is when Rainn Wilson and his buddy are traveling across country and doing sideshow attractions, and they meet Captain Spaulding for the first time, and he does not like it. It's just a great little scene.
All right, dude, where are you going with this one?
Oh, by the way, Kathy Tyson played Marielle Duchamp in Serpent of the Rainbow, so I was wrong.
Oh,
It was
okay.
not Elisa Bonet. It was Kathy Tyson in that one.
All right, dude, what are you thinking?
All right, so I'm doing. This is one of my favorite families in cinema, and it's going to be the Newtons from Beethoven. They just seem like the nicest family, and Beethoven is one of my favorite movies from my childhood, and it's just, I would do the same thing. I would be, trying to save my family and my dog. It's just, and of course, my favorite my favorite in the movie is Beethoven himself. So he's my favorite family member.
You know what? I don't think I've seen any of those movies. Like, I've seen clips and commercials and stuff, but I don't think I've ever just sat down and watched one all the way through. There's a lot of them, though, right? Isn't there like a whole bunch?
Yeah, but the first two are the best with the Newton, or with the core Newtons, and even some would argue the second one's the best one, which that's what I watched more often when I was a little kid. I even had a Beethoven stuffed animal I slept with when I was a kid. So
was in that film. Interesting.
Who?
Dean Jones from Herbie was in Beethoven. Interesting.
Who does he play?
Dr. Varney.
Oh, he's the main villain in the first one, yeah. And then it has Stanley Tucci is a villain in it. And David Duchovny's in it.
Oliver Platt.
Oliver Platt's a villain. Yeah, it's a good movie.
You sold me on it. Like, just with that cast right there, I'm like, that's a great sounding cast.
Yeah.
Charles Grodin is such an underappreciated.
Yeah, Charles Grodin. It's a great family movie. It was written by John Hughes. So
you sold me on it even more. That's all I need to know. Written by John Hughes, has to be golden.
Yeah, he wrote it under his other alias name though, but it's still you can tell that it's a John Hughes movie.
1992. Interesting. The director, by the way, Brian Levant, also went on to direct the as they used to say on Conan O'Brien, the all-time holiday classic Jingle All the Way.
Oh, I love that movie. That movie's so good, so fun. Our Dragon.
I love Conan O'Brien, actually. By the way.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, it's the original Conan O'Brien animated character from when they used to have the mustard-colored set. I still love Conan.
And who doesn't love a little Frozen tune in the brine?
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, nice.
That's awesome.
All right, Dragon, where you going with your choice?
Oh, my next choice. Gotta go back and look at my list. My choice, the next one, is the entire Powers family.
Yeah,
From
baby.
Austin Powers trilogy, from the Gold Member, the man, or all of them. Forget all the subtitles, but it's it's The Spy Who Shagged Me, International Man of Mystery, and of course, Gold Member.
I love gold.
On the surface, it doesn't seem like it's just it seems like a James Bond ripoff, and of course it is, but it is also and they go a little bit soap opera-ish when they introduce Dr. Evil as his evil brother in later films, but the family elements in this when we have his dad come in, Nigel Powers, in the third film, and eventually everything gets all related to each other in a blood family, found family, but it's just one big dysfunctional family between the good guys and the bad guys, and they even end up on Jerry Springer at a certain point. So of course they're a dysfunctional family if they're on Jerry Springer. I love all the family element stuff in there, and even all the love interest kind of stuff too. When they turn Elizabeth Hurley into the fembot at the beginning of the second film, it's because they kind of wrote themselves into a corner and got them married at the end of the first film. So even family kind of found family in terms of a marriage to a robot, to a fembot, comes into the scenario there. But yeah, it's not as big on family on the surface, but when you consider that he's a character that is a man out of time, he's frozen and wakes up in the 90s, 30 years later, 20 years later, and he had most of the people he knows are gone or dead or old. So the fact that he has to find a family, and part of that family that he finds is Dr. Evil, and even the Dr. Evil side of the family with number 2 and Mini-Me, of course, is the failed clone, so that makes him part of the family too. So yeah, all of these weird, wacky, strange characters, but still have a degree of humanity to them. Love the Powers / Evil family in Austin Powers films. So.
And Fat Bastard.
The dynamic between Scott and Dr. Evil's really good, and then when Mini-Me comes along, and like the strain between Mini-Me and Scott and all that stuff is so good.
And Seth Green showing up again too. Seth Green as
the love
as
child,
Scott Evil,
and he was the love child of the Dr. Evil and
Frau Farbissina.
Frost or whatever her name is.
Frau Blucher, the horse nose.
Oh god, and Mindy Sterling as Frau Farbissina is brilliant. And if you've ever seen the Goldbergs, she's a regular guest starring character. She's one of the neighbors of the Goldbergs, and she does a great job in that show too. But just the way that sort of that cockeyed look how she looks at the camera is just so freaking brilliant in a relatively small role too. So yeah, even Frau Farbissina as Scott's mom, great.
All right, Caveman, what's your choice?
So let's see, we've built a house, we trained a dragon, we created a robot. How about we make a family?
Yeah.
Heritage.
I'm still looking for the picture.
One of my favorite lines, if you ever bring the picture up, is I can't remember what his wife's name is, but they get pulled over, and he looks at his wife, or the police officer says, "What were you doing?" or "What were you thinking?" And he looks at his wife and says, "Here, you want to show him?"
Sorry, caveman. I'm looking for. I'm trying to think if I even put it in at this point. I'm like, where is it? Thought I had it.
I think in some ways the film is even more famous as a TV show than a film at this point because the TV show ran for so long.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Let's see that.
But great film. Keanu Reeves, a very young Keanu Reeves in Parenthood as well. And my favorite memory of Parenthood is the diarrhea
right
song.
There we go.
Yeah.
The diarrhea cha cha cha. When you're running into home and your pants are full of foam, diarrhea cha cha cha. Diarrhea cha cha cha.
The top scene in that last picture is the one I was talking about, where they're driving home and she gets a recommendation on how to spice up their love life and decides to reward him on their drive home, and then they end up getting pulled over. That's all I'll say about that. But it deals with some serious topics. It's not just all comedy, because there is some serious stuff that goes on with Jennifer Love Hewitt. What's the girl's name in that?
Mary Steenburgen?
No, not Mary Steenburgen. But, this girl
From the Goonies.
Yeah,
Oh, Martha Plimpton.
that's okay. Because she's in trouble, and her mother didn't include a picture of her. She's in the big picture, but she's like a single mother, and she's trying to show her kids or show her daughter the right way to be raised and stuff like that. And it's got Rick Moranis and his wife, and they've got that daughter that they're is like, going to be like a rocket scientist or whatever. And then Steve Martin's got the kid that's got marbles in his pockets or whatever.
I totally forgot, by the way, that Tom Hulsey is in Parenthood. The guy from Amadeus with the maniacal laugh as Amadeus Mozart is in Parenthood as Larry Buckman. Totally forgot about that.
See, I still haven't seen that movie. See, I need to check it out.
And directed by Ron Howard, Opie Cunningham himself.
Oh, is it? For some reason, I was thinking it was a Rob Reiner movie.
Well, they're all kind of related, because Lowell Gans, who was on Happy Days as writer, obviously they all kind of know each other from the 70s, so
Yeah,
that wouldn't surprise me.
it's been a long time since I've seen Parenthood, the movie. I think I saw it. The last time I saw it was probably VHS days, so probably mid '90s.
I remember watching it in theaters, but I don't think I've watched it since.
No.
All right, then I'm gonna go back to Pixar. Let's go back to some more animation here with my choice. We're gonna go with, of course, Coco. You gotta have the Coco family in here, which is a great cast of characters. You get to see kind of the past ancestors that are like in the dead realm, which are really cool looking. But this kid goes on an adventure to kind of see if, because his family doesn't accept that he loves to play music and they don't like music. So he tries to go find De La Cruz that he thinks is his dad and all this stuff. But you get a lot of emotions that come across in this movie. And it's probably my favorite Pixar film. It just gets so emotional by the end of it. And you see who his real dad is and that connection. And then the themes of, you got to remember your family, right? It's our duty to remember them, right? So they can cross over and come back. I love those moments. And the animation is gorgeous in this movie, too. Are you guys Coco fans?
I have not seen it yet.
Is this the Bruno movie?
No,
We don't talk about Bruno. No.
I know what you're talking about. What is that movie called?
Yeah, I know you're talking.
Encanto.
Encanto?
Yeah.
Encanto.
Yeah.
Encanto.
Oh, that's right, Encanto.
No. Coco is definitely not Encanto. Oh, you
Coco's
guys.
about Halloween and or
Day of the Dead.
Halloween.
Dead.
It's,
Day of the
yeah,
Dead.
Muertos
Yeah, Day of the Dead
de
was
la
passed
Dia
last
or
week.
whatever.
Man, I'm surprised you guys haven't seen that. It's so good. It's so good.
No, I've seen Coco.
Sorry, Mike. I'm too busy watching Coneheads.
I know.
no. I do want to see Coco. It looks good.
That's a good one. The music is great in it as well. Like some of the original songs they have in there, like they could just have a whole album out of it. So good.
Mm-hmm.
Texas supports you, Mike.
Yeah, is he shouting it out there? Yes, there we go. Coco was really good. See, there we go. All right, and then let's go.
Ben mentioned a good one too. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I love Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Even Honey, I Blew Up the Kids. I like that one too.
All right, let's go to a bin buster choice. Let's see. I don't know if I know what this family is, so you guys can help me out with this one.
Oh,
you guys know what that family is?
Is that like Heroes?
Yes, that's
Yep,
Heroes.
that's horn rim glasses and Claire. And horn rim glasses is named Noah, which is kind of weird. But
yeah, and Claire is the cheerleader, and that was
Save the cheerleader, save the world.
Yeah, that was the whole theme of that. At least the first season of that TV series.
Yeah, I never saw that show. I think I remember.
I never saw it either.
Though. I heard season 1 was good though, right?
Oh, it's great. It's season 1 as a storyline was great, and then season 2, because the writer's strike from 2007 came along and kind of shortened everything and ruined it, and it really brought back serialized storytelling to network television, which hadn't been there in a long time. So yeah, season 1 was great.
It was the rise of Zachary Quinto.
Yeah, Spock, pre-Spock, Zachary Quinto.
Yeah,
Siler,
and
great villain.
Zachary Levi was on the when they tried to relaunch it 5 or 6 years ago. Remember that?
Oh, yeah. And also Milo Ventimiglia, which I have not seen the show This Is Us, but
awesome
he was sort of the main character-ish. I mean, it was an ensemble cast, but he was sort of the main point of view character in Heroes, too. So Milo Ventimiglia was great in that one, too.
He also plays Rocky Balboa's son.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You must have watched the Sly documentary.
Oh yeah, I watched that as soon as it hit.
Yeah, I watched it too.
All right, so getting into our 5th round here, our 5th film family shout out. All right, Ryan, what do we got for our 5th?
All right, my favorite family of 2022: Gong Gong, Joy, Evelyn, and Waymond. Everything, everywhere, all at once. And even if you take out the whole multiverse thing out of this, you have at the core of it like a very beautiful family movie. You know, she's trying to deal with the stresses between her and Waymond. Waymond's wanting to get a divorce. Their daughter's struggling with her identity. And then you just throw the multiverse in on top of it that they got to deal with all that. And it's just a really overall great movie. And I really like Evelyn. I mean, you can't go wrong really with anybody in this movie. Waymond, actually, I kind of think I actually like Waymond just a little bit more because he is kind of like the glue that holds everybody together, like seriously. But Everything Everywhere All at Once, that is my favorite family.
I was so happy when that movie won Best Picture. I'm like, oh, so good.
And one of the few films that really does truly match weird and story with character development. Like it really does a perfect blending of both.
Yes. It like winning, you know, Best Picture, it brought Michelle Yeoh back into the light, even though she really wasn't kind of out of it. But then Ke Huy Quan, you know, like he just blew up from it. And then, you know, we got introduced to Stephanie Sue, and she's just kind of like blown up as well. Overall, just a great movie.
It got Jamie Lee Curtis her first Oscar, so that was awesome. I'm like, that was, and I thought she was great in the movie too. I thought she was really good.
Yep. She played the dark really nice. She almost, to me, kind of really channeled Michael Myers a little bit, like in her character in some of the parts where she's chasing her down. So I thought that was kind of cool.
You know, the funny thing is when I saw Anything, Everywhere, All at Once, the first time I saw it in theaters, I came out of it not knowing whether it was good or bad, but it was the most movie that I saw up till that point. And then the second time, it's like, God, that really is, despite all of the frantic editing, it's such a great story being told.
I mean, they have an emotional scene with rocks. Like, with rocks. It's fantastic, but it is super bizarre, and it's like a movie you really got to like focus in on because it
Hot
is
dog fingers. I mean, you even got the LGBTQ, little bit thing going on there and all that, and it's just a great movie.
Well, and if you like Everything Everywhere All at Once, the Daniels, the directors of the film, Daniel Kwan and Daniel, I forgot the other last name. The Daniels directed a movie called Swiss Army Man.
Yes,
where Harry Potter plays a talking corpse with superpowers. And Paul Dano in that film as well. So yeah,
he farts Paul Dano across the ocean.
Yeah, yeah. Daniel Radcliffe, we want you to play a flatulent corpse with superpowers. Sign me up.
Yes.
All right, dude. What's your final choice?
My final choice is my favorite family in cinema, and that's going to be the Levensteins. I think the Levensteins from American Pie.
Oh.
I think his dad is like the perfect dad. Like, I wish he was my dad. He was just ride or die, always there for his son, no matter how embarrassing things got. He was always like, he saw the lighter side of things and tried to bring everything, back down. It's like, all right, yeah, you super glued your hand to your crotch, but we didn't do that in my day, but let's talk through it kind of thing. But yeah, I love that family dynamic. It's mostly a father-son. I know there's a mom, but you hardly even see her, and then she passes away later on. But the father and son dynamic, that could be a full family right there. I love it.
And I love the scene you chose right here with the pie right there.
We'll just tell your mom we ate it all. Again, looking at the bright side,
Yeah. I love it when he brings him the porno mags and then makes him look at them, and he tries to like delicately like explain like Bush and all this other stuff.
These are your more risque magazines.
Yes.
And the flute scene.
Yeah.
Can't forget the flute. And Allison Hannigan she's doing the opening or she's like the host for the Penn and Teller TV series.
Mm. Yeah, great cast. Yeah, and you know what? You can even say the rest of the cast is a good family dynamic, but I just, just focusing just on the dad. I think, Eugene Levy is underrated, and he's finally getting to where he's supposed to be. He was even in, the Vacation movie, the very first one. He sells him the station wagon. It's he's an underrated actor, and I feel like he plays himself. Like, I feel like that's him in real life. Is Jim? Oh, yeah. I couldn't even tell you his name. I know him as Jim's dad. In the movie, I know his name in real life, Eugene Levy, but yeah,
he's also great in Schitt's Creek.
Yeah, that's where he's. Yeah, I feel like that's where people mostly know him from now, and I'm glad that got him and his family, because I know his daughter and his son are a part of that. So
right,
it's awesome to see that.
But back in the day too.
Have to give an honorable mention to the Shermanator.
Yeah, Shermanator.
Stifler's mom.
Yeah.
Yep.
So she's gotten a real resurgence on the HBO series. It's
Jennifer Coolidge. Yeah.
Tara Reid, Natasha Lyonne, who's kind of hit.
Yeah, she's big. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Bringing Down the House. Yeah, that was a good movie. With Queen Latifah.
And but nobody remembers that Tasha Reed was also Frankenboob.
In what movie?
It's a joke. She accidentally had a boob flop out in an award ceremony, and
you're talking about Tara Reid.
Yeah, Tara Reid.
Yeah, Tara Reid. Yeah,
she's got a scar across the
yeah.
Frankenboob.
All right, Dragon, what's your final choice here?
My final choice, just looking through my notes here again. Oh, my final choice is the kind of breaks the format a little bit, but it goes into the world of television. It is a little bit topical just because we just lost somebody, but the cast of Friends, all Joey, Phoebe, everybody. And the whole thing is in your
Shut
20,
up! Shut up!
What's that?
What?
Oh, it was Pivot. Pivot.
Oh, Pivot.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Pivot. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just the whole theme of when you're in your 20s, your friends are your family is sort of my way to shoehorn it in there too. But just the dynamic of, again, found family, of the perfectly balanced ensemble cast, and R.I.P. Matthew Perry, because Chandler was one of the great characters that you probably couldn't do that character as Chandler the way that Matthew Perry did that character today. It would probably be cast differently, and but yeah, just Schwimmer, everyone in that cast, and Jennifer Aniston, Lisa Kudrow. Who doesn't love and for anyone that hasn't seen that show, it's one of my all-time favorite sitcoms. Especially season one, because season one Friends came on at 9:30 p.m., so it was a little bit more risque, as Eugene Levy would say. So it was a little bit more adult themed, and then by season two, that it was so successful, they moved it to 8 o'clock, so it was a little bit more family friendly after that. But season one of Friends, especially when everything's a little bit edgier, a little bit more grown up, and before the cast got all famous and stuff. And even if you look at season one of Friends, the lighting is more dramatic. It's less straight sitcom and more dramedy in a lot of ways, as they play out the beginnings of Ross and Rachel, and you really see how talented this cast is and how well they gel with each other and how well defined those characters are. So much so that How I Met Your Mother was basically there's YouTube videos out there comparing How I Met Your Mother basically being a Friends clone. Minus
and I love How I Met Your Mother too. Those are both great sitcoms.
Oh yeah, great show. But it just goes to show how good the formula was for Friends, that it could be copied 10 years later, and that also is considered one of the all-time great sitcoms. So Matthew Perry as Chandler, sadly gone, but big part of that family.
Yeah, Friends definitely would have made my list if I knew we were picking TV shows. Like I said, my whole list would have been different. But I just want to show this. This is for all the real fans out there. If you guys know this from Friends.
Oh, nice.
It's a deep cut, but yeah, it's a favorite tote bag there. It's Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd, when he goes changes his name, he changes his name to Crap Bag. Oh, good old Paul Rudd.
I mean, I still remember watching. What was it? There's a movie with Eddie Griffin where he's doing like a 70s blaxploitation character, and the whole
you're talking about Undercover Brother.
Undercover Brother, and the whole thing is they have to try and make him, they try and make him as quote unquote white as possible, and the thing that breaks him is at the end of season 2 of Friends, and they're like, it was Julie's saline solution, and I'm like, I remember watching that in theaters, and the fact that Friends was such a deep cut. Even deep cuts on Friends were ubiquitous everywhere there for a while, in feature films and other TV shows. That whole series is just amazing. So, Friends.
So good. All right,
my favorite How I Met Your Mother episode has to be the Hot and Crazy Scale version, or when he does I can't remember the guy's name, but he does the
Barney?
Hot Scale. Yeah, and he draws a line, and if she's this hot, she can be this crazy, you know, and she's this hot, you know, this crazy. So yeah. So we've built the robot, we've built the family, we've trained dragons, and so how about we go fishing? And that is big fish.
Real Big Fish. Or, oh, no, it's not the same movie I was thinking of. Never mind.
No.
Thought you were picking Real Big Fish. Or whatever it is.
No, this big. I don't know if it's the Big Fish or Big Fish, but
oh, it is that one. Okay. Why did the picture look weird? Yeah, Big Fish with Ewan McGregor.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, I've seen that poster before. I haven't seen the film, but
Film
Tim Burton,
really, really good.
Great film. Kind of another homage family. It's on Pluto for anybody that wants to check it out before they buy it. But basically, Albert Finney is dying, and Billy Crudup is his son, and Billy Crudup kind of grew up with this father figure who wasn't necessarily always there, but always told these fantastical stories, and it's kind of like a bonding and growing relationship film where as Finney's telling the stories, those stories are being acted out by Ewan McGregor and Jessica Lange and a bunch of other characters. That do you have the giant picture, Mike?
I don't know if I got that one. I don't think so.
Matthew McGrory.
Okay. Never mind. Nope, I don't have it. Sorry.
Okay. Hang on, I'll pull it up.
Oh, Benson's in this movie. Robert Guillaume.
It's a really good movie, though. I mean, Tim Burton directed film, and it comes together at the end too. Like at the end, you see the father and son dynamics and all that. Oh, so good.
So the giant, of course, and at the end of the film, he, when, spoiler alert, the father dies because he's on his deathbed. But all these, the son is able to visualize and able to see the caricatures that his father told about these people. Like he saw like a really tall person. He saw, the person that looked like a gesture. He saw a person that was like a witch. And all these dynamic characters. Like you've seen it, so maybe you can help.
Yeah, it's basically because the idea of the big fish, right? He tells these like kind of larger than life tales, right? Kind of an exaggeration. And so you see these fantastical characters through these stories throughout the movie, but then by the end, it's like you get to see the real kind of people that represented the fantastical tales. I guess that's how I would describe it. Yeah, but it gets emotional by the end, especially you see that father connection there by it. So it's very good.
Then when Billy Crudup, his character kind of picks up the mantle at the end and starts to expand on his stories.
And then, Caveman, while I'm on you, since this is our final round, you want to run through your honorable mentions real quick?
Sure. So this is just TV series. I didn't want to bring him in on the movies. But 6 Feet Under is the picture, the tall picture on the right. I grew up with 8 Is Enough and Family Ties.
The
That's how
Keatons.
I am. Some of the characters in 8 Is Enough were like, I don't know if anybody even knows who Leif Garrett is, but the one character that is under Tim Patton's character, his whole persona was kind of his look, his hair, and everything was very Leif Garrett-esque, I guess. And then there should be another picture, Mike. Yep. So Big Love is another great TV series with the late Bill Paxton. It's about can't think of the word.
Polygamy?
Yeah, polygamy. Having multiple wives. It's, based in Utah. And then, of course, the Parenthood TV series that kind of, I guess, got the idea from the movie in many ways. It was a great TV series that went on for 10 years, I believe. And then, of course, the Little Scoundrel Family of All, Yellowstone, which kind of brings you into the modern era.
Which did you like better, the Parenthood TV show or the Parenthood movie?
As far as the comedy, the Parenthood movie. As far as the drama, the Parenthood TV show.
And then Caveman, you had some movies as well too, right?
Yeah, I had Knives Out. Yeah, and then Liar Liar, Mrs. Doubtfire, and Cheaper by the Dozen.
Good flex.
Yeah, good choices.
I also had Knives Out as one of my choices too. But
yes, right here.
just kind of a dysfunctional family. And there's Jamie Lee Curtis again.
All right. Yeah, I think I got through all of those, right?
Yep.
Those were all your honorables.
Yep.
Perfect. All right. Going to my 5th choice here. We'll go for recent family. I had to give another superhero film here. So we'll go with the Blue Beetle family, which is absolutely a hilarious family. I mean, this cast is great. You got and I forget his name, but he's from Cobra Kai, the main
Polo.
Blue Beetle actor, right? And then you got George Lopez as the uncle, the wacky uncle, who's so funny in the movie. But the sister's great in here, the parents, but then also the grandma as well, right? The Nana, she is hilarious in this movie. And then the love interest, of course. But this is really all about family and culture, and the movie is really, really fun. If you guys haven't seen Blue Beetle, to me, it's one of the better DC movies of recent. So I would recommend it. But the family dynamics, just to see how they interact with each other, and just like their loyalty to each other and working together, and you kind of almost get Shazam vibes with it by the end of it. So
Coming to Max on the 16th, by the way. 9 more days.
oh, nice. Yeah, it's good. It's fun. Yeah, if you like the superhero genre, I think you'll have a good time with it. It does get a little formulaic, of course, after you've seen so many superhero movies, but the characters make it stand out. Like the family dynamics make the movie stand out. Like you're gonna be laughing so hard when George Lopez is on screen doing his thing, and then when the grandma shows up, it's like, oh gosh, it's so funny.
I wish I could have made it far enough into Black Adam to be able to say that Black Adam wishes it could have been Blue Beetle, but I didn't even make it past like 30 minutes of Black Adam.
Yeah, Black Adam's very formulaic movie. Yeah, that one's a little bit more just average. Oh, and then I had a couple honorable mentions here. Of course, you got to have Mitchell's versus the Machines,
Yeah.
which was an awesome streaming movie. I think it was on Netflix, right? Yeah, this was a great family in here. Very, very funny dynamics. And then, of course, the Umbrella Academy. You got to mention them for shows with all their different superpowers and all their drama between them and not getting along and all that. But those were my honorables right there. So let's just check into the comments real quick, see if anybody joined in here a little bit later, and then we'll let everybody kind of go around and promote anything they got upcoming on their channel, of course. But speaking of families, we got Mama Blu-ray came in. Well, hello, Mama Blu-ray out there.
Hey, Bonnie.
Let's see. We had what? It's 8 came in. Let's see. Anybody else new came in? Oh yeah, we had this is Nate. George Lopez is hilarious. Good casting choice for his role. Oh, he was so good in the movie. Oh yeah, I haven't seen George Lopez act like that in a while. Because sometimes they just put him in stuff and you're like, I'm not feeling it. But he was perfect for this role in Blue Beetle. So good.
Nice.
All right, so let's kind of go around and let the people know out there what you got going on. So Ryan, what do you got coming up?
Do I not get my honorable mentions?
Oh, did you have honorable mentions? I don't know. It's
Yeah.
late now. You have some honorable.
No, it's.
huh?
I'm trying not to fall asleep over here, but so yeah, we'll run through mine real quick. We'll get the Asians one out of the way. The Parks and the Kims and the Parasite.
Oh, yeah.
If you haven't seen Parasite, they are two fucked up families. And then The Farewell with Aquafina. This is a great movie about family, and it actually shows some Chinese traditions that families do to ailing or dying family members, and it's a very heartfelt movie. You really learn a lot. Another movie about adoptive families, and that is Four Brothers. If you've never seen this, four brothers come together to save the one brother and whoop ass. And I think it's a very underrated movie. If you haven't seen Four Brothers, got a great cast in it. Great movie.
Four Brothers is awesome.
Great choice.
Before we had Family, Gone in 60 Seconds. You got the old school family and the new school family helping each other out to steal some cars. Plus just everybody else that's in this movie. It's a great cast. And then the ultimate family movie, Ohana Means Family, Lilo and Stitch. Probably one of my favorite animated movies about a dysfunctional family. I like a lot of dysfunctional family movies, apparently. That's it. But what do I got going on? Not a whole lot. Got a new video coming out tomorrow, and I think later this month I'm doing something with Jake from Steelbook Obsessed, and that's pretty much it for right now.
All right, and dude who loves movies, what do we got going on?
Yeah, I do have a few honorable mentions that I'd like to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have anything to show for them, but like the family from Edward Scissorhands, unfortunately, they do not have a last name. But that is, to me, one of the coolest families. They take in this unknown person with, they are just you can see their kindness there. My favorite is Alan Arkin. He's just hilarious as the father. And then the Balboas from Rocky.
Yeah,
I love that family. And then Look Who's Talking, the family from Look Who's Talking. I like their kind of blended. You got John Travolta, Kirstie Alley, and then you got the two kids later on. But yeah, that's another family that I really enjoyed growing up.
Bruce Willis, Roseanne Barr.
Yeah, Bruce Willis, Roseanne Barr is the voices. And then Danny DeVito, and I can't remember who the lady dog is in the Look Who's Talking Now, but that's a good Christmas movie if you haven't seen it. But yeah, those are my honorable mentions. And I'm Dude Who Loves Movies over on YouTube and Instagram. I have another stream coming up with Mike, and then I have a couple other streams planned on later on. So I'm going to be busy this month, guys. So just keep a lookout.
All right, and Dragon, what do we got going on?
Well, my channel's been largely dormant the last month, and that's just because I started a new job. The job that I just started is in entertainment. It's I come from the world of TV news, and this job is actually as a video editor for an entertainment show here in Las Vegas. So not so much with the fatal car wrecks and the politics and murders. And we actually like the reason why I was a little bit late to the podcast today was I was editing an interview with Nick Carter of the Backstreet Boys. So I've been spending a lot more time first month on the job trying to, get up to speed. And so my YouTube channel has kind of fallen by the wayside at the moment. So I still am posting some videos here and there. I'm not as active on the podcast front, live stream front. So that is sort of where my intention of sending my channel is kind of, that's sort of where I'm aiming my channel right now, is more of the podcast live stream front at the moment. It's just, life kind of getting in the way, and, in a good way, thankfully, but I haven't been as active on the podcast front at the moment, but that's where I'm headed. So
you should connect with Huck, because I think he's in the same industry.
Oh, the news biz?
He does editing.
Nice. Absolutely. I got to reach out.
And then Caveman, what do you got going on?
So this Sunday coming up, I'm going to be on Video Gizmos channel. We do every 2 weeks. We do something rotten in our collection, and So we basically have 5 stacks of movies, and that we haven't seen, and we go through, and the audience in the chat gets to help pick out what we get to watch. So one movie is picked from each stack, and then we report back in 2 weeks about what our thoughts were on the movie for our personal first-time watches. So it's a great way to kind of move through all the blind buys and stuff that I've done for either for deals or because it was a cool steelbook or whatever reason I may have had for buying it, and actually get to sit down and watch them and then give some real good feedback. And there's a great group of guys that are on it. Tony from Basement Blues, Alan Pop's Movie Dungeon, Brian Goes Blue is usually on there, Gizmo himself, Dirk Subjective Perspective Collective, and Darren Burrows is on there as well. A recent person who joined is a guy named Russell, but he goes by Texas on YouTube. So they bring in a bunch of strange horror, and so if you're into that kind of stuff, and Gizmo is from Norway and is a director there, and so he's got some pretty fantastic insight on film. And then I'm going to be on the top 5, but just for me, we're changing it to the top 6 on the 4K Lowdown channel with Turner Fan, Rich, for Faces for Radio. Basically my top 5 on the 27th, and eventually I'll get back into YouTube. But you guys that are watching or watch this on the replay or whatever, make sure that you go and subscribe to Cody, Ryan, and Mike, and Brian, and they all do great stuff, and you get to see some pretty good critical steelbooks from Ryan all the time, and you get all the good movie news from Mike. And Cody is just a cool dude that always roundhouse picks the like button. And seriously, Cody, I'd love to do something with you sometime. And Mike, thank you very much for having me on here again. Really appreciate it. You're keeping me alive in the YouTube world, and I appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. And thank you all for being a part of this amazing panel tonight, shouting out these awesome favorite film families. It was a lot of fun here. So yeah, once again, links are in the description below, audience, for everybody's channel here on this panel. So definitely go show them some love, right? They're all a part of this amazing community, this family. So go ahead, stop by their channels, click that subscribe, hit those like buttons, leave comments, and more importantly, watch the videos, because like Caveman said, absolutely amazing content from everybody on this panel. And as you think about, likes and subscribes for this channel, I only have one thing to say to you.
Help me get one more.
That's it. Just help me get one more. That's all you got to do. We're making the push of 1,500 subs on this channel. We are almost there. So if you can help me get one more, I greatly appreciate it. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it for most of this stream tonight. Just a couple reminders of some streams we did recent. If you want to check out the replays, we did do an amazing Criterion November sale pregame. So it's Criterion sale season. If you want to look at some recommendations, a few days ago we had a panel of 9 give some amazing recommendations on some Criterion titles if you're interested in shopping for those. And then tomorrow my video drops for Mega Movie Numbers, where we talk about how physical media is selling out there and some of the top selling 4Ks and revenue numbers for physical media and all that great stuff. So definitely check that out on the channel tomorrow. But that is it from us tonight. So everybody have a good one out there.